What's up, y'all? It's your boy Niner Faithful. How's everybody doing? Hope everyone is having a legendary week. It is championship week, but honestly, we don't care about that because, Niners aren't in it, so I don't care who is. And the Seahawks aren't in it, and the Yams aren't in it. And honestly, I think Green Bay is going to the Super Bowl, so. Anyway, enough about that. We have news for everybody. Robert Saleh has been hired as the new head coach of the New York Jets, as well as taking with him John Benton and Mike LaFleur, to be his offensive coordinator, and John Benton is going to be his offensive line / pass coordinator. Looks like Adam Peters is going to stay. Martin Mayhew is going to stay. The Niners have promoted Mike McDaniel to offensive coordinator, and Rich Scangarella is going to come back as our quarterback coach. D'Amico Ryans has officially been named our defensive coordinator. And apparently we're about to trade Nick Bosa for Deshaun Watson. So I wish Robert Saleh good luck, although, I'm not very happy about it because it's obviously not what's best for the Niners. And I honestly really don't give a damn what's best for his family. Good luck. I'm happy for your family, I guess, but man, I don't give a damn about your family. I want what's best for the Niners. Look, I'm not Saleh family faithful. I'm Niner faithful. So, you know what? If it means that your family's got to, not shop at Whole Foods for us to win a championship, I'm willing to make that sacrifice. Sorry. Go to a franchise who hasn't been 25 years since they won a championship, and maybe they'd be cool with that. But, he's well-deserved. The man's going to be an amazing head coach. And, it's not like I hope he crashes and burns. And, I am happy for his family. Cool, But gets the Niners 2 third-round picks, one this year and one next year. So I'm not necessarily mad about that. But if you think that we're not going to feel the effects of Robert Saleh being gone, you're smoking rocks. The man was amazing this year. Honestly, I won't lie and deny the fact that I thought he should have been fired after 2018. But, I was wrong. And we've seen that this year. So, sucks to have him gone. LaFleur, if I heard of anybody that was the Niners couldn't afford to lose, it was McDaniel. So I'm just happy we retained him. And obviously super fired up that D'Amico Ryans is our defensive coordinator. Obviously, we'd all rather have Robert Saleh, but honestly, I think D'Amico Ryans is going to be a great defensive coordinator. I think it's going to be a little bit like Robert Saleh. There'll be some growing pains next season. He's obviously not going to come in and be Robert Saleh, but Robert Saleh wasn't Robert Saleh in 2017. He obviously grew as a coach and learned from some mistakes he made. I didn't see defensive linemen dropping into coverage as much as we did in 2017, so he obviously learned from his mistakes, and I expect D'Amico Ryans to do the same thing. If you would say who's our best performing, or I don't want to say overachieving, but everybody knows our most talented, the most resources we have invested in as far as money and draft capital, things of that nature. It's our defensive line. But the best performing aspect of this team, especially this year, matter of fact, maybe only this year, but look, what I'm basically trying to say is the defensive line, I expected them to go out there and be dominant. You don't necessarily expect us to have one of the best linebacking cores in the league. And obviously that has a lot to do with the talent of the players, but it also has to do with the coach. And so, who was the coach? DeMeco Ryans. So, and also people have been saying that it's good to have a linebacker be your defensive coordinator because he understands defensive lines in front of him, and he also understands his coverage because he's A, in coverage himself, and B, he has to understand the secondary because linebackers work with the D-line and the secondary. And he was a Mike linebacker in the NFL, and that was brought up by Matt Mayoko. He said, look, he was a Mike linebacker in the NFL. He called plays. You know, obviously, he wasn't the defensive coordinator, but for all intents and purposes, he was the defensive coordinator on the field. You know, who's the captain of our defense? Who's the quarterback of our defense? Fred Warner. So, who does DeMeco Ryans have the best relationship with? Fred Warner. I do not anticipate any communication issues. I think it'll be a seamless transition as far as communication and getting the plays communicated and into the rest of the defense. Now, there might be some confusion as far as between players because it's a new scheme or whatever, but I think the communication between DeMeco Ryans and Fred Warner is going to be flawless, and I can't think of a better defensive coordinator we could have had. It was very important in the dynasty. We went from Bill Walsh to George Seifert. It was important to keep things in-house. We developed these coaches in-house. And it is important that we develop these coaches in-house and promote within because they understand the culture, they understand how we practice, they understand how Kyle Shanahan expects the team to be practiced, they understand the demands he has of them. You know, as far as how many hours to put in film study, what's the schedule like? You know, when does the team practice? Things of that nature. Well, if they've already been in the building for 4 years, they already understand all that. Rich Gangarello coming back as quarterback coach. When did Jimmy Garoppolo play his best with the Niners? When Rich Gangarello was our quarterback coach. We're bringing back the same coach. Now, I'm not saying that means Jimmy's going to have a season or look like he did in 2017. But it's about putting the players in the best positions. I want Jimmy Garoppolo to be put in the best position this offseason so that if it doesn't work out, hey, Jimmy, there's no excuses. It's on you, bruh. So, now as far as the Deshaun Watson trade, I don't think it's going to happen. I personally think that Houston makes it work out. You know, you just don't let 25-year-old quarterbacks go. Now, should the Niners inquire? Hell yeah. Would I give up Nick Bosa? Fuck no. Dean Lombardi has said it best where it said, let me tell you, for the new Niner fans, let me tell you a story about when the Niners traded a D lineman in Charles Haley and how that turned out, which, by the way, Eddie D said was the biggest mistake he ever made as owner. Now, I think that this is a little bit of a different situation because we traded Charles Haley to a rival, a conference rival who was direct competition with us for supremacy in the NFC. Obviously, Houston is an AFC team, so we wouldn't play them that often. If we ever did play them in the playoffs, it would be the Super Bowl. But Nick Bosa changed the culture of the Niners. Nick Bosa came in and made us that defense. Now, I understand we still had a top 5 defense, but the reason we didn't have the best defense in the league is because of our pass rush. Our pass rush struggled. It took a drop-off this year, a significant drop-off. Now, yes, the defense played well enough to win games. But when it came crunch time, and we needed that play, we didn't have anybody that was going to give us that play, at least not on a consistent basis. Nick Bosa does that. You just don't let that walk away. Now, I understand you're going to have to give us up some supreme assets. Would I trade George Kittle? Ooh, that one would be hard. Like, that one, I wouldn't want them to, but if they did, I would understand, like, okay, to get ass, you got to give ass. You know, so that one, I'm not saying that I would jump up and down and be the happiest of the world, but The player, honestly, what I think the trade I would make is I would give him this year's first, next year's first. I give him Debo, Jimmy, and the third-round picks that we got from Robert Saleh, and maybe a first-round pick in 2023. If they wanted to throw in like a fifth round this year or something like that. But with that is a hefty price. But if you told me that's what that's what's going to take to get Deshaun Watson, I'm on board. You know, I love Debo. We all know that I love Debo. But you know what? To get ass, you got to give ass. And so, yes, I would be comfortable trading 2 first-rounders, or possibly 3 first-rounders, Jimmy, Debo, and 2 third-rounders. One this year, one next year. And like I said, if they want to throw in a third-rounder or a fourth-rounder or whatever, maybe we get a player back or something like that, something of that nature. Honestly, that's a hefty price. And look, let's not make no bones about it. Nigga better win the Super Bowl. Look, I don't want to, he took us to 3 NFC championships. No, I don't want to hear all that. We trade all that, bruh. You better bring us number 6 and 7 and 8 and maybe even 9 to make it worth it. But that's just what I would call that the cost of doing business and trading for a 25-year-old quarterback who's under contract till 2025. Which, funny to mention it, would be exactly when Kyle Shanahan's contract with the Niners runs out. Very interesting, isn't it? Because a lot of times that they say that, you know, when a new coach wants to come in, that, you know, you want a new quarterback. And so, not saying that Kyle Shanahan wouldn't get extended nor Deshaun Watson wouldn't get extended, but kind of funny to think that we could get rid of our coach and quarterback in the same year and, you know, start fresh. So, like I said, I don't think it gets done, but just because I believe that there's more, let's say that somebody else offer the same package. Let's say, trying to think of the Lions, or no, let's say, I'm trying to think of the Dolphins. Could I see the Dolphins? Actually, the Dolphins would be a pretty good team. Let's say the Jets. Okay, let's say the Jets. Who's going to have higher picks in those first round the next 3 years, us or the Jets? I would believe, even though I believe the Jets are going to become a better football team, I would say the New York Jets are going to have higher first rounders than us. So if they offer the same package, I can see Houston saying, hey, you know what? We'll simply just take it because we believe that those are going to be higher picks than San Francisco because we believe San Francisco is going to be at least a playoff team next year. We know the Jets aren't going to be a playoff team for at least a couple years. So, one last thing I want to get into, you know, a lot of players have been talking about, you know, like, for example, K'Wan Williams being a New Jersey native and very close to Robert Saleh. You know, at the end of the day, I've said I want K'Wan back. I think losing K'Wan would be huge to this defense. You know, I love it when he's on the field, he's one of the best nickel backs in the league. But if you really want to leave, the Niners, okay, a team that less than 12 months ago was in the Super Bowl, and let's be real, if Nick Bosa didn't blow out his knee and Jimmy didn't get hurt in week 2, probably at least would have been in the playoffs. It very well could have been playing this Sunday for the NFC Championship and a chance to go to the Super Bowl. Like, if the Niners were playing this Sunday, nobody would have been surprised. You want to leave that team for the New York Jets. Now, I understand, I don't know the tax situation for New York, but we do have one of the highest taxes here in California, income tax. And, you know, obviously he's from New Jersey and everything like that, so I understand that plays a factor into it, as well as I believe that Jason Verrett being from the Bay Area plays a factor into him being here. But if you want to leave the Niners to go play for the Jets, tip my cap to you, sir. Good luck. Enjoy that. Let's enjoy a franchise who, let's put it real, the best quarterback in their team history played like, bro, my parents were kids. Like, yeah, so enjoy New York. Juice? Man, I love juice. I love juice. But if you want to go play in New York and don't want to have a legit chance of competing for a Super Bowl next year, God bless you. Don't need you. I don't need players who don't want to be here. If you'd rather go, go get paid more money to go fucking suck with the Jets, cool. Awesome. God bless you, brother, for it. All right, y'all. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end this week's show. We shall see y'all next week. Till then, faith, love, and happiness. Go Niners. Go Sharkies.